Hello, welcome back to Let's Play Hellenica, where we are in Giza. Egyptian citizen, Hakor, and Makarios. I wonder if you're the jackal. We've sure had a lot of excitement here, with the near execution at the market, and I'm doing incredibly the wrong exit. Were you there to see it? Actually, we... No? Oh, no, don't crash. No, we weren't there. What happened? Well, I've heard about it about 5 different ways from as many people, but the gist of it is that the Persians tried to trap the jackal by staging a fake execution. Fortunately, the jackal saw through their ruse and sent his helpers in to... His helpers? Yeah, we hadn't heard of them before today, but boy, there are some wild rumors about them. Folks say they were all as strong as cyclopses, that they were knocking Persians around like dry leaves. And there's even a rumor that one of them was a bear. Of course, that's absurd. There are no bears in Egypt. Shifty eyes there, Diona, shifty eyes. It sounds like Egyptians are excited by the jackal's exploits. Definitely, he's given Egypt her pride back. It's been hard living under the heel of these Persian conquerors as they loot our history and treat us like desert sand. Wait a couple centuries, it'll be Rome. And then wait a couple more centuries, it'll be Britain. Yeah, you have a couple centuries of that ahead of you. Things used to feel hopeless living under Artaxerxes. He banned our customs and melted down ancient relics for gold. It felt like we were becoming just another conquered people whose history would be washed away like papyrus leaf floating down the Nile. But seeing the jackal stand up for us, it feels like old Egypt is here again. Gives us something to have pride in, something to fight for. Do you think Egypt could be free once more? I hope so. Though there's the problem of finding a pharaoh. Why is that a problem? Only someone from the line of pharaohs has the right to rule of Egypt, and the Persians killed all of those off. Though maybe there's someone alive somewhere. We could probably even get by with a half-blood since times are desperate. You had... Oh no, Alexander hasn't happened yet. My apologies. Since this is after Marathon, but before Thermopylae. So, in your alternate universe, Alexander the Great has not happened yet. If at all, he will happen at all in this timeline, which means you have not had Greek pharaohs yet. Couldn't you just pick another pharaoh? Being a pharaoh isn't something a person is given, it's something he's born into. That's how it's always been in Egypt. Egyptian citizen. Most days, foreigners like you would be the talk of the town, but with the jackal fighting off the Persian oppressors and rumors of a ship sailing through the desert, you're only the third most exciting thing that's happened today. Yes, wait, did you say there was a ship sailing through the desert? Yeah, normally I just discount it as the heat playing tricks on people's minds. But I've heard it mentioned by enough people that I'm starting to think there might be something to it. By the way, there is an old ghost story about a ghost ship that appears in the middle of the desert in America. I believe it's... I don't think it's Death Valley. I think it's Colorado, but I'm not really sure. Most likely it's mirages or misidentified rocks from a distance and such like that. But there is an old legend about a ghost ship appearing in the desert. That's impossible. A ship can't sail through sand. Well, certainly not a normal ship, but maybe if you had enough power you could push the sand out of the way like water, and buoyancy wouldn't really be a problem, so that opens up a bunch of options. Nephele, I hardly think that. But who would need such a ship? Could it be some sort of secret Persian weapon? Oh, or maybe it's the jackal's secret base. That's why the Persians can't catch him. Because he's always on the move, sailing through the twisting sands. Well, I don't know about that. Well, on the off chance some sort of awesome theomechanical land ship, I'm sure Diona would agree that we should definitely look into it.
Where was it spotted? Arctos, champion of the goddess of wilds, Artemis.
To the east, but be careful. The desert, sun, and sandstorms are merciless. New path unlocked. There is nothing more to say there. Okay, let's look. We now have one path unlocked. After an attempt to rescue some prisoners went awry, we found ourselves cornered by Persian troops who possessed supernatural abilities. At the last moment, we were saved by the Jackal. Mysterious Egyptian hero has become an icon for Egyptian resistance to Persian rule. Come on, Diona! That ship sailing through the desert has to be important. We should investigate. Let's talk to other people first. Welcome to Egypt, travelers. I'm sorry you arrived during such a troubled time. Our people have chafed against the shackles of Persian rule since their conquest a century ago. Recently, things have gotten worse, with the tyrant Artaxerxes making claims of divinity and tightening his grip on his subjects.
Speaking of extravagant claims of godhood, we just fought. Out of the way. We just heard a rumor that Artaxerxes' immortals wield magical abilities in combat.
That's a rather extravagant rumor. What sorts of abilities?
They could shoot out beams of fire, shrug off crossbow bolts like a cyclops, and swing a weapon with the strength of a charging bull. Or at least that's what the rumor said.
We heard them from a rather excitable bard. I see. Well, if the Persians really do possess such powers, they must have kept them mostly hidden for the world to not know of them. Your story stretches the bounds of belief, and yet it would explain some things. How Artaxerxes has managed to so effectively suppress revolts, and how his agents have been able to break the mystic seals on ancient tombs. Also, Immortals, definitely before Thermopylae. The unit that is known as the Immortals did not persist very long past that battle, which unfortunately was overall moot. Actually, that's argumentative. Arguable. In some ways, Thermopylae gave the Athenians time to evacuate Athens and go towards other safe grounds, so that by the time the Persians hit Athens, a lot of the influential people of the nation had already fled and they didn't do much permanent damage. But the Persians did conquer Greece on that expedition. It was only a generation or so later that you had Alexander come and return the favor. They've been raiding that's Diona. They've been raiding ancient tombs. They've been defiling them. Those are the sacred burial places of our honored dead. Whatever secrets they hold are meant for the afterlife.
What would Artaxerxes want with some old tombs?
The same thing all bloodthirsty and iron-fisted tyrants want. More power. I keep doing this voice I gave the first citizen. The pyramids hold 8 artifacts of the Old Kingdom, when Upper and Lower Egypt were the first unified in prosperity. Our mystical power flourished in a glowing sun to whatever crude torches of magic Artaxerxes' thugs now wield.
Whoa, wow! You sounded kind of like the Jackal just there.
What? Oh, what a strange thing to say. A bookish scribe like me is nothing like that radical hero. The very idea is ridiculous.
I've not unlocked this yet. That's true. Though come to think of it, you do look kind of similar.
I wouldn't know. I've never seen him after all. Though I think he makes a point of not being seen. It's probably safer to be a symbol of Egyptian resistance if you keep your identity secret.
That makes sense. So who do you think he is?
Nephele! I don't think it's wise to delve into the Jackal's stealings. Secrecy is probably his greatest ally.
Can secrecy turn into a bear? Or build amazing theomechani? Steam-powered devices, plural theomechani?
Or, Brasidas, please stop her.
Be transformed into a turtle? We could be good allies too. We're on a quest, see? And we think it involves stopping whatever Artaxerxes is planning.
No doubt you possess some skills, but the Jackal prefers to work alone. Oh, excuse me. No doubt you possess some skills, but the Jackal prefers to work alone. Okay, this is why we need Nephele, because Brasidas and Diona are not going to push like this. Though if the Jackal did want your help, I imagine he is very curious about the Persian interests in the pyramids. At first he thought they were just after riches, but they kept scouring the pyramids, even after all the treasures had been plundered. They're searching for something else. I wonder if this has anything to do with that Medusa, that half-Gorgon girl, archer girl, who came through a couple hundred years ago and fought the rising titans again. Oh no, that's a different timeline entirely. Okay. Oh, I'm resisting buying Titan Quest Ragnarok. I'm resisting. I don't have the money. Okay. You seem very well informed. Oh, I'm a historian as well as a scribe. I do my best to document and preserve the rich history of Egypt. Anyway, rumors have it their next target is a pyramid on a small island located a short ways off our coast. I don't remember an island pyramid. And there's no record of one in the histories. But what does that mean? I don't know. The Jackal needs to keep an eye on things in Egypt. Perhaps a band of adventurers could investigate. Yes, thank you. I think we're going to be doing that. Can we talk to you again? What do you do here anyways? I'm a scribe. I do my best to preserve our histories and record the events of today. Oh, so you can tell us anything about the Jackal's powers? Do you think he could fight a Cyclops? Oh, or maybe even a demigod like Circe? Go away. Hi! Bet you're asking, like, what happened there with that little bit, what probably was a little bit of skip for you. There was a little window showing up over there that was giving me a update for my non-functional HP printer. It works as a scanner, but it doesn't work as a printer anymore. I use it as a table mostly. Not table, a place to hold my mouse and other things. But I went to go turn that off, and it brought me out of the program, which caused Fraps to crash. The game did not crash though, so here we are. Oh, so you can tell us. Oh, we already read this. Well, those questions might be outside what can be concretely documented. And the stories are ridiculous. They say he's faster than a cheetah, stronger than a lion, and he can leap over pyramids. They also say he draws his powers from the ancient magics of Egypt. Well, that's a remarkable claim. But do you think it could be true? You've studied the ancient histories. Excuse me. A little bit of a hiccup there. But do you think it could be true? You've studied the ancient histories of Egypt. Is there any mention of that sort of magic? Well, there are passages in the Book of the Dead that suggest certain extra-natural abilities might be passed down through the line of pharaohs. As far as I remember, no. Most scholars think those passages only refer to the afterlife, but I guess it's possible that. It doesn't matter anyway. The line of pharaohs is extinguished. Don't know that. There may yet be one survivor, forced to hide his identity and bide his time before he can reveal himself and lead his people in rebellion. And he might be named the Jackal. And it might be me. Because, you know, I'm sitting here with a cloak. With a robe that is lined in blue and gold. You know, the Jackal's colors. And I have sort of the same sort of beard. No, I better not. It's not me at all. It's not me at all. Oh, and until then, the Pharaoh's probably helping his people from the shadows under the guise of the Jackal. Yes. I mean, that's one possible explanation for the rumors, and though it's probably not that likely, of course. That is finished, so let's talk to Macarius. Have you been to Egypt before? Well, I have occasion to do so. Making an honest living as a smuggler takes me everywhere from the Pillars of Hercules to Colchis on the Black Sea. The peaks that flank the Strait of Gibraltar, which separates modern-day Spain and Africa. Sometimes there's more work out here beyond the long arm of the Athenian navy. Come, of course, Persian charmers like Sisyphus might close a port for a few weeks on a whim, so there are trade-offs. A Persian general with a reputation for brutality and near insanity, and was punished to the underworld by the gods for cannibalism, if they're going with that version of the myth. So, if you're smart, you invest in something that doesn't go bad, like dolls, for instance. Egypt's good people, though, if that's what you're asking. Even if they're technically under Artaxerxes' rule, they're not happy about it and stubborn as mules, and they like bobblehead dolls. Which means they're more than willing to kick out any Persian customs agents trying to complicate my honest seafaring trade in dolls. I thought you were a smuggler. Oh, you Spartan types, a smuggler can be just as honest as any warrior, maybe more so. Unlikely. I've never failed to get goods to where they need to be while avoiding imperial entanglements. Yes, you made the Han Solo reference earlier. We got it then, too. That's why the people of Aegina? Oh, cats. Count on me to sell their dolls. Why are dolls contraband? I'm guessing there's something in them. I never asked. Probably some sort of feud with Athens. Oh, I've already read this. You've already read this. Probably several times. You know how cutthroat those toy maker monopolies can be. So, do you have a home? Call my ship the Mouse's Wager home. Of dice and men? No, I mean a real home on land. Real homes have got a bunch of rules. Real homes always seem to have some self-important king or bureaucrat trying to shove his rules down your throat. But there are rules at sea, too. What, the Navy? Only if they catch you. Home is an interesting word in the English language. Functionally, most of the time we say home, we mean a specific place. But intrinsically, the word home is more a concept than a physical thing. Your home is the place you belong. Very heavily in English. A house is a house. If there's no people in it, it's just a house. When you have people living there, it becomes a home. You might be able to just sail away, but what do you think is going to happen to Egypt after that mess at the execution? Which was your fault, Nephele. Sisyphus is going to throw a fit, that's for sure, but I'm more worried about his king, Artaxerxes. Artaxerxes seems to take uprisings like this personally. I've seen his handiwork before when Halicarnassus rebelled. A Persian city on the eastern edge of the Aegean Sea, its recent rebellion was brutally suppressed by Artaxerxes. What about the jackal? Love the costume, thinking of making my own for the next Linnea. An Athenian festival to Dionysus, the Greek god of wine and ecstasy. It was famous for its drama competitions, which featured masked actors performing comedies and tragedies. Yes, the use of masks was very heavy in Greek theater. Come on, be serious. Heh, I think he's just one man, no matter how many ancient Egyptian magics he's got hidden under his cape. He won't be able to stop Artaxerxes' armies. No one short of a pharaoh of old could do that. I don't get it. People keep talking about how important Pharaoh is and how they need one. So why don't the Egyptians just pick a pharaoh and all agree to follow him? Wouldn't that solve the problem? That's not how it works in Egypt. They say the pharaohs must come from a sacred bloodline, and you can't just plop anyone down on the throne because you like the way he talks. Well, that's silly. What good will their customs be if none remain to follow them? If we're dealing with a fantasy world with actual real-life magic and gods, the sacred bloodline thing might be an actual thing. Remember that next time we discuss your Spartan traditions. Ooh, burn. It may not make much sense to you and me, but someone trying to rally the Egyptians has got to respect their ways. But are there even any potential pharaohs left? Didn't we just talk to one? Oh, right. Nephele is oblivious to the obliviousness business, Max. Who knows? Maybe that when the Persians first conquered Egypt, they killed all the descendants they could find. The old pharaoh's grandkids probably aren't in any rush to give their names to the town crier. But after what we saw today, I'm not even sure they could make a difference. What good's an ancient tradition going to be against an army of magic-wielding thugs? I'll be leaving Egypt as soon as possible. I'm sure the good people of Carthage would appreciate some fine dolls. Y'all want to ride? The capital city of a foreign empire that controls trade in most of the western Mediterranean Sea. Thank you, but we have our own business too. Like the steamship in the desert! Oh dear. May Poseidon smile on your voyage, though. Alright, just don't get in too much trouble. I won't always be around to save your hide. Bing! Okay, we are out of places we can talk to. So, we have two options. I mean, we could go back here and try some of these options we closed off. Can we? Yeah, we can. Might do that later, but right now we can go to do this, or if the Persians are interested in that island pyramid, then so am I. Let's beat them to it. But I want to go see the desert ship. Might I remind you that the last couple of times you have decided where we're going by default. What do you mean? I haven't decided anything. This is true. The last time, well, in a manner of speaking, the last time with Circe's Island, you did not decide anything. You almost did, and almost got us into a feast of horrible nature. But you were the one that kept pestering that particular pirate that got us thrown into the labyrinth. But that wasn't my choice. But it was your choice to keep pestering him. But it wasn't my choice to get thrown in the labyrinth. So maybe I should get to go do the desert ship now. This is my quest. We are going to investigate these pyramids. And that is final. Okay. What? This isn't possible. How can a pyramid just be floating in the middle of the sea? And why are you walking in place, Brasidas? Aside from the construction problems, there's no way it could be buoyant. Each block of limestone would require the displacement of a section of water 2.5 times its size. I guess it might just be built from the depths, but then... To Hades with where it came from, I'm just glad it's not a boat. We've got much more pressing matters to look into. If the Egyptians don't know anything about it, then who built it? Why was it built? What's hidden here? We need to investigate. You're right! Maybe on the lower levels we can find some hints about what's holding this thing up. Could be. Now let's move on and... But wait! The ocean is probably at least 10,000 meters deep here. The pressure would make working down there impossible. I guess you could lower blocks to the ocean floor, but if they hit a current, they'd get offset, and the whole structure would be shaky. That can't be how it's done, right, Fiona? Fiona? Russ? Wait for me! Okay, so I am going to go ahead and go on to the next video. See you in a moment.